The Man Without Limits, Nick Vujicic's story of triumph. On December 4, 1982, in Melbourne, Australia, doctors were stunned when Nicholas James Vujicic was born with no arms and no legs, a condition affecting fewer than 1 in a million births. His parents faced overwhelming questions. How would their son live a normal life? The darkest valley, Nick's childhood was marked by profound struggles. Simple tasks like eating or playing seemed impossible. The pain deepened when cruel bullying at school made him feel like a spectacle rather than a person. At just 8 years old, overwhelmed by hopelessness and convinced he'd be a burden forever, Nick attempted to end his life in his bathtub. He questioned his purpose, his worth, and whether anyone could ever truly love him. The turning point. Everything changed at age 15 when Nick made a life-altering decision. Instead of focusing on what he couldn't do, he began concentrating on what he could do. He devoured books, developed his mind, and discovered that circumstances don't define potential. A school janitor's simple suggestion, "You should be a speaker," planted a seed that would change millions of lives. Nick graduated from Griffith University at 21, with degrees in finance and accounting, but his real calling was inspiring others. From victim to victor, Nick began motivational speaking at 19, and has since delivered over 3,000 speeches worldwide. His message resonates because it's authentic. He's living proof that limitations don't determine destiny. Despite his physical challenges, Nick has learned to swim, surf, and even skydive. He married his wife, Kanai, and they have 4 children together, a family he once thought impossible. Through his ministry, Life Without Limbs, he reaches people across every continent with messages of hope. Life lessons from a limitless life. Nick's journey teaches us, perspective is everything. Happiness isn't about perfect circumstances. It's about finding purpose despite imperfect ones. If you can't get a miracle, become one. Your difference is your strength. What makes you different often makes you uniquely powerful. Nick's limitations became his foundation for reaching hearts worldwide. Purpose emerges from pain. Our deepest struggles often point toward our greatest purpose. Nick's childhood suffering gave him the empathy to help millions facing their own battles. Gratitude changes everything. Nick practices radical gratitude, focusing on blessings rather than limitations. His family, voice, mind, and every opportunity to make a difference. The ripple effect today. Nick continues traveling the world, sharing his story with audiences from school children to presidents. Nick Vujicic's story reminds us that the human spirit is incredibly resilient, that purpose can emerge from pain, and that with the right perspective, any life can become a masterpiece.